All my dogs are still there. They don't die, thankfully.
Thank
God. That would be fucked.
That would be so fucked up.
They were all filthy, though, and starving, so I fed them and bathed them.
Yeah, that was one thing. It did punish you if you didn't come back. I mean, of course, they could never die, but, like, your friendship meter and, like, their health meter and cleanliness meter, that would definitely go down.
You know what my favorite part was, though? Every, like... because, like, we were, let's see, 2005, we were still very young when these games came out. All the names for the dogs are spelled wrong, and I was just like, oh, no.
Yeah, I think I remember, like, adopting a dog and, like, this sounds terrible, but picking, like, one that was really ugly and then naming it Bill. And then naming it after you. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Bill. Because some of their character models were really fucked up looking in the game.
Hey guys, I'm Bill, a one-time Instagram blogger and now a podcaster.
And I'm Alex, the chaotic neutral.
And together we are the Gaming and Collecting Podcast.
A brother-sister duo.
That talks about gaming.
And also anime.
And don't forget the collecting, sometimes.
Ah, forget it. We're just a nostalgia podcast at this point.
But anyways, guys, thanks for joining us as we discuss the games that shaped us. So, how you been?
Hello, everyone. I've noticed I've been a little wild in the past few episodes, so I'm going to try and tone it down today. But did you hear about Gear 5 and how amazing it is and how wonderful it's animated? You should definitely check out One Piece and catch up. But I'm not going to scream and I'm not going to sound like that stupid wrestler, man. But you should definitely go watch it. How you doing, Bill?
Great.
No screeching today. Just a calm, nice podcast.
Did you see that episode 1000 is getting dubbed pretty soon?
I know, yeah. That's pretty, I mean, they still got like 200 more to go. But hey, we're getting closer. I mean, the fact that we're that far into Wano, I'm a little surprised, so. Yeah. But I mean, Wano's almost over too, so.
That's true. God, I've been so tired this week.
Yeah, this week, like, every day felt like Thursday. Well, felt like Friday. And I was just like, it's not Friday. It's not Friday. It's not Friday. Yeah, I had a little cry at work today. Just the stress of everything hit me all at once, and I just cried in the bathroom for a good 5 minutes today at work.
Well, considering people sleep in the bathroom, I don't think anyone was questioning it.
Yeah, it was one of those days. But I felt better now. It was just too much at once. Lots of pressure. And I let it get to me. But, you know, that's human. Sometimes we're stressed. And sometimes you're going to cry in the bathroom at work.
Did I tell you about the time I was in there and I heard someone straight up snoring? Like they were knocked on the fucking bowl.
That doesn't surprise me. It was funny when my coworker, she like went up to me and was like, hey, I saw the girl in the bathroom who sits in there for hours. And the best part was she was talking, she's like, I wonder if the light ever turned off. And I'm like, it does. And she's like, how do you know she's in there? I'm like, you can see the light from her phone because she stays on it. Ugh.
Yeah.
I mean, like, hey, I don't care because honestly, if the company is paying for her to sit in the bathroom for multiple hours, like, that's winning in my book, okay?
They should see what goes on Saturdays.
Nothing.
It's pretty laughable.
Yeah, and this week's been stressful because we were doing, like, some cool... I mean, it was cool, but we were doing, like, some cool filming for some promotional videos, which is fun. But also, when I went out on the floor, I just had to be sneaky like a ninja and dodge the cameras because I was like, there's no way in hell I'm getting anywhere near a camera. No, thank you. They were flying drones, though.
In the building?
Yeah, like in the mixing area, like because the mixer is huge. Yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool footage.
Just picturing the drone falling into the mixer. That would be the most Callaway thing ever.
They're professional, so it's fine. It's fine.
There was actually speaking of drones, there was a IndyCar race on over the weekend, and one of the drones died on live TV.
Nice.
Like you literally, the video footage was showing. All of a sudden, the thing just starts like falling and cuts to black, and then it picks right back up as it's about to hit the pavement, and then it just goes black. And it was like everyone in the comments was like, "Did we just see a camera? Someone drop a camera?" And they're like, "No, it was a drone."
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Speaking of this weekend, we did some last week, the weekend prior to the upcoming weekend, we went to Barnes and Noble, and it was tax-free day. So we got
my
some
favorite Alex
mangos.
moment ever.
What?
So we didn't know it was tax-free weekend initially, and we had gone to the Barnes and Noble, bought some manga because we have this massive Barnes and Noble near us.
Yeah, and I got Dai Dark. I started collecting Dai Dark, which is the same author who did Dora Hidoro, which I still need to finish reading Dora Hidoro, but that's kind of my plan for Sunday to read. But I got some Dai Dark, and I got some Welcome to Demon School Aruma, which then fueled me to rewatch the series, all of it. That's all I've done this week. I've just rewatched it, and it's so good, and I can't wait for season 4. And now I started watching Chainsaw Man again because I also just wanted to watch it again, but also have an excuse to listen to that bop of an intro.
You really got to pick up or read the manga online because it picks up.
I will. That's kind of what I was thinking too, is that you still need to watch Dora Hidoro, which you just got to pick an anime to do for the swap, and then you can watch that, and I can watch whatever you want me to watch. So pick something.
How long is Dora Hidoro?
I think it's only 12.
All right, I'll look into
12-er. Anyways, planning podcast.
Still gonna watch
as you were saying, it's tax-free weekend, and Alex did something.
Oh yeah, so we go to there was a mall nearby, that Barnes and Noble, and we're just kind of wandering through the mall, and Alex like immediately is like, let's try not to go to the figure store. I don't have the money to be spending, and I don't want to go. So then we're going through the mall, and like after we visited a few stores, I stopped by State Line Video Games, the local chain that we have around here. A retro chain, that is, and I found more 3DO games because another podcast I have to get material for.
Bill's replacement podcast because he doesn't want to podcast with me anymore.
Shut it. Both of them are weekly and active. There's no replacing.
Wait until I start my own podcast called the FU Bill podcast.
I mean, you can host it on the GNC Podcast Network.
I could.
Anyway, so we were going around. I bought that, and then we found it was tax-free weekend, and Alex immediately changed her tunes. Like, we can go to the figure store actually, because now I can justify it. And then she bought the most expensive figure possible.
It probably wasn't the most expensive one, but it was probably a little pricey. I wasn't planning on buying it. Nope, it wasn't $100, Bill. It was $99.99 because it's tax-free. That one single cent made it a viable purchase to me.
But you got your boy.
I did. I got my man, Urameshi.
It's not his
AKA
name.
Kuwabara. But I thought his name was Urameshi for the longest time.
I got a Your figure. It sits on top of my bookshelf.
You did. You did get that figure. How does that make you feel?
It's nice. It sits on my bookshelf now.
I can't wait to punch it when I see it.
I can't wait to break Luffy's neck.
No.
Oh yeah, did you hear The Blind Side is ruined?
Yes, I did. I actually texted Mom that. And Mom was like, that is so sad. I'm like, I'm sorry. It was ruined for me, so I have to ruin it for you.
It's really sad how, like, I don't give a shit about football, but even I enjoyed that film, and it's like that entire film is a fucking allegedly.
It's a fucking lie.
Allegedly. You got to remember that. Allegedly.
I mean,
you can't say it anything's true until it's been confirmed.
No, I mean allegedly, but I strongly allegedly believe it's true because, like, why would he come out and say that after all this time if it wasn't true? And
that's why you have to say allegedly, because we don't know.
Yeah, it's just I feel so bad that.
Did you see people were attacking Sandra Bullock though?
Yeah, why? Like, it's not like she knew.
I know.
I mean, we all thought it was a wonderful story, but, like, unfortunately, like, it's not like she knew that. Like, She had no idea.
It's like there was like idiots on like fucking line saying that she should return her Emmy that she won, and it was like, what the fuck is wrong with people?
Yeah. I mean, like, the only thing we can take away from that movie is that, like, we wish that was the truth, and we wish that there was just a person that was just genuinely kind enough to take someone in out of the goodness of their heart, and not as a allegedly means of, viable money gaining. But unfortunately, thus is life, and people just suck sometimes, which sucks.
Yeah. Out of all the freaking headlines that I saw this like week, that was one that I saw that like it's funny how like you don't even have to care about football or like be interested in like certain things, but then you see a certain thing that like it's just a headline that grabs you and you're kind of like,
What?
wow.
Yeah.
It's like it just shocks you because it's like it came out of nowhere.
Yeah, that was pretty sad when I saw that.
You know, it's really awkward though because there's a lot of people who made comments about that back when like the film first came out.
Ugh, yeah.
Well, because there's the character in the movie that's like the person who's like investigating and is literally accusing the family of exactly that.
Oh my god. Well, and it's interesting too because I didn't know. I found this out when I found out when I heard about this was like that they wrote the sister to be a lot nicer than how she really was to him. Like apparently she was not nice to him from what I was the general gist of what
I haven't looked into it that
I
deeply.
haven't fully looked into it, but it sounded like they kind of fluffed it. But sad. It's sad that things like that
he's said for
happen.
years that there's parts that movie's was pretty fluff to begin with, but
yeah, sadness.
Yeah. But anyway, I just felt like mentioning that because yeah, that was a shocker.
Yeah.
Also, that movie came out around when did that movie come out? 2010? I think it came out 2010.
I don't know.
That's not really. I was gonna make a segue saying it came out around the same time as our topic, but I don't think it actually did. So now this segue is bad. But anyways,
oh wait, Bill, did you like my Kermit post today?
They're getting so meta.
Did you like it?
When did the mascots of our
drunk Kermit?
When did the
violently power pop?
When did the mascots of our server become Kermit, Grimace, and Randy?
I don't know. But hey, who can complain? I can't.
Anyways, so
complain. The car garage. The car garage. You posted. Oh, Lucy. Yeah, Bill got his car back today. What?
Yes, I did. Anyways, so Alex, do you like the DS?
No, I hated it. It was my least favorite console. The end.
Oh.
Bye.
So your entire life was a lie then. Lovely.
That was my rendition of the Seinfeld theme for anyone who didn't get that.
That was very loose.
Oh, I can't sing.
Okay. Anyways,
wait.
so
What are you drinking today, Bill? Before we get into the topic.
I have a ranch water.
You're drinking ranch dressing?
This joke was bad when you made it like
Bill's
a year ago.
Ranch. Gross.
This joke wasn't funny then. It's still not funny now.
Hey, guess what?
What? So much for not being psychotic this episode.
Hey, no, I haven't done the voice yet. And I won't. No shit. And I'm not gonna.
So just say something about the DS and move on, please.
Wait, you're not gonna ask me what I drink when I'm drinking?
You already ruined this bit.
What am I drinking, Bill?
I don't know. What are you drinking?
I am drinking a Kirkland Signature purified water. I feel like I did this the last time.
Yeah.
Purified water.
You wonder why I didn't even bother asking.
Added for taste.
I'm not doing the entire thing. I will mute you. I will mute you.
Did you hear that?
Yes.
Fucking.
So Alex had a DS back in the day. She clearly doesn't want to talk about it.
I did. I had a DS back in the day. It was probably my most used. It was probably the console that got me into gaming.
Mm-hmm.
Like it really did.
And guess what my first Nintendo DS game was?
Let me guess. It had to do with taking care of pets.
Taking care of business every day. Yes, it had to do with turtles. It was Turtle Pet Simulator. Just kidding. It was Nintendogs. And I not only had a DS, I had the signature teal Nintendogs edition DS with the Nintendogs Best Friends version
That you gave to me.
included that I gave to you because I was such a kind sister.
Which was more. It was actually more of a case for like you had like 3 different versions of the game, and you never touched that one, and you were just kind of like, here, you can have
Well,
this.
I
one.
had the Nintendogs Chihuahua version.
You
and
also had the Dash Hound
Dachshund.
version.
Yes, I had the
Whatever.
Dachshund.
And then you had
and-
Dalmatian later on as well.
I think I did later on, but honestly, I don't think I played the Dalmatian one.
Well, no, because you could get Dalmatians in all the games, so it was pointless.
Yeah. Also, I just kind of was not as into it anymore. But Nintendogs. It honestly, it was really fun. I really enjoyed Nintendogs on the original DS because, I mean, we were a cat house. We were never getting a dog, and like it was the only way I could live out my dog dream. Sorry, Tilly. You're not a dog.
She's probably just looking at you like, I don't give a shit, human.
She's actually giving me the death stare, probably because I put her in a fun hat.
Yeah, you did. So a little backstory into Nintendogs. So
Why?
Why Nintendogs, you say? Well,
No.
because
Why the backstory?
Because I want to. That's why.
Well,
Now-
guess what, Bill? It's a real-time pet simulator video developed by Nintendo.
So did you know that the history of Nintendogs actually kind of goes back pretty far into Nintendo's history?
Oh, it does?
So keep in mind, Nintendogs originally came out in 2005 with the 3 original versions plus Best Friends.
Yes.
And for anyone wondering, the only difference between the other 3, it was kind of like Pokemon in the sense where like each version had different. They had different breeds. What made the Best Friends version interesting was it actually had all the breeds from.
Yeah, and I gave that to you, so be grateful.
I never said I wasn't.
Good.
But anyway, so the game actually came out in 2005, but believe it or not, it actually first materialized back in 97.
Huh.
And it was originally intended as a N64 prototype, like creature breeding game, originally called Cabbage.
What?
Yeah.
Ew. That just sounds wrong.
It was a prototype name, and it was more. I'm assuming dogs weren't the main focus at the time. I'm assuming it was probably more like fantastical stuff. It's a really unclear exactly what like it was supposed to be, other than the fact that it would later deeply influence, obviously, Nintendogs and Animal Crossing to a degree. But what's interesting is the game actually, the idea was kind of tossed around between like Shigetase Itoi, the creator of Earthbound, the Pokemon main designer of Pokemon, and Shigeru Miyamoto, the basically father of most Nintendo franchises.
Yes.
And the whole gimmick, a lot of the gimmicks were like it was going to make use of like the real-time clock feature of the N64 DD, that thing that failed miserably. And the game basically kind of just disappeared for a while, and like kind of like ended up going through a lot of phases, originally kind of being a tech demo on GameCube before it was finally moved over to the DS. Because the DS, when it first came out, was originally, a lot of people thought it was going to be a hard flop because it was such a stark departure from the Game Boy,
Mm-hmm.
and the PSP was coming out, and the PSP looked like it was going to annihilate the DS.
Yes.
Spoiler warning: it didn't.
No.
not that
It did
not that the
not.
PSP failed, but the DS became the second best selling system of all time. So keep that in mind.
Mm.
But two of the games that they showed off very early in the DS's lifespan to showcase the system's potential. One was headed by Shigeru Miyamoto, although he wasn't really that active in the development. He mostly was just kind of brought the idea up. That would be Nintendogs. The other was a game called Brain Age, which was a learning game that's actually kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And the two games were basically the start of like the DS's more unique everybody, like the whole idea that everyone can play the DS and enjoy it.
Yeah.
And Nintendogs was probably one of the most prominent games I remember from the early DS days, because I mean, you were
Yeah.
obsessed with it.
I mean, yeah, I played this game so much, but I think that statement you said is really true, where it really did bring video games to a lot of people who wouldn't necessarily go for video games. Because, I mean, not that this game was signaled out, Nintendogs was a franchise for girls, but I think a lot of girls ended up buying a DS to play Nintendogs. Like, I think it's there's a good connection. I mean, not saying boys didn't, but like, I think it helped a lot with getting a lot of girls to buy it.
The DS was really the turning point for Nintendo, where they really
Oh,
started
definitely.
focusing on the whole. I mean, we'll go into it deeper when we talk about the DS again later on, but it was really the point where Nintendo focused more on like the games are for everybody mentality that unfortunately would backfire on them in later years, but like at the time it was like a genius move, because I always remember the early Nintendo DS commercials, particularly the finger one. Do you remember the finger DS commercial
Unfortunately.
where the giant finger was poking the screen, and it was very weird? That was before they adopted the famous like we would like to play style of commercial that was very Nintendo for years.
Yeah.
And Nintendogs honestly was kind of a phenomenon, because I remember everybody was playing it.
Oh my god, yeah. And it was so fun. And honestly, like, I remember playing Nintendogs for hours. Hours. Like, multiple hours of just straight up Nintendogs time. Like, it's like I played so much of this. And there was so much to do in it. Like, I mean, for a simulator of like playing with some dogs, like, there was a lot you could do in it.
Yeah, you could have up to, so it was kind of a simulation style game where like you had to, you started out with one dog, so it incorporated a lot of elements from like Pokemon in a sort of way, but also like regular life simulation games where like the different versions had different dogs.
Yeah.
And there's kind of like an RPG-ish mechanic where you have to like you have to do like different like events to gain money and find items so you can buy more dogs or more houses or more items.
Yeah.
Because you start out with just one dog in a rather small little living space.
Yep.
And as you go on, you get more money. You can get more dogs. I think you can have like up to 8 dogs, but you can only have 3 on screen at once. And
yeah, you can keep them in like your what's it called, like kennel.
Yeah,
I think.
Which, if it wasn't a video game, that would be really cruel.
Yeah, well,
I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, since we're already on to like the whole cruel factor, like one of the things is you could switch out your dogs. So you could basically give your dog back and be like, I want a different dog instead. And I remember once I got all my slots filled, I never returned a dog because I'm not a terrible person.
Well, that was the thing that like you didn't
so
think
guilty.
about. So
no,
I bet a lot of people
did as a kid.
I'm sure you did.
I was like, no, I can't return my dog. Also, PSA, if you get a pet and then just return it to an animal shelter after it like gets older, you're a piece of shit. Anyways.
Yeah. But yeah,
sorry,
as a kid,
I saw so many videos recently of like a ton of shelters that's happening, like people just returning their elderly pets, and
because
if
there
you
was
do
that,
that,
and of
you're
course
fucked up.
There was
you
that,
shouldn't
and
have
then
had a pet to begin with.
There was that, and then there was all the pandemic dogs. That was
oh my god,
disaster.
All those people should go to jail. That's a crime. That's emotional abuse of an animal. Anyways, I'm
Back to
upset about
Nintendogs.
it.
Yeah, that's just a gamey mechanic that, when you think about it, very outside of
Yeah.
like a game, you're kind of like, this is kind of fucked up. But
I never did it because I was like, no, I can't return little bird bee or so whatever his name was.
whatever. You know what's funny? I actually booted up my copy of Nintendogs just before this, just to see, and all my dogs are still there. They don't die, thankfully,
Thank
because that would be
God.
fucked.
That would be so fucked up.
They were all filthy though and starving, so I fed them
Oh
and bathed them.
no. Yeah, that was one thing. It did punish you if you didn't come back. I mean, of course they could never die, but like your friendship meter and like their health meter and cleanliness meter, that would definitely go
You know what
down.
my favorite part was though? I every like because like we were, let's see, 2005, we were still very young when these games came out. All the names for the dogs are spelled wrong, and I was just like, oh no.
Yeah, I think I remember like adopting a dog and like this sounds terrible, but picking like one that was really ugly and then naming it Bill. And then naming it after you. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Bill. Because some of their character models were really fucked up looking in the game.
To be honest
Like,
though, for 05 DS standards, I think they look pretty good.
oh yeah,
So,
no, definitely for the time. Like, cause I'm going back and just looking at some photos, and like, they really didn't look that bad. There's some moments where it's like, oh, but for this time, yes, they do look really nice.
you know what I always remembered too, like the game had a surprisingly large amount of content. Like you could take your
Oh
dog
my
for a
god, yeah.
walk.
That was my favorite part of the game. I love taking my dog for a walk and
That's how you would
accidentally like
find
pulling it.
well, that's how you would find all your items, because you'd occasionally find presents, and that's how you'd
Yeah.
get different
Well, and
things.
what was cool was that so like when you first start taking your pet on a walk, you can only walk like a certain amount. Like you can't do like a really long walk. You're limited to the amount. And the more you spend time with your pet, the longer and like the more walks you do with them, the longer your walking route gets. So it's kind of like real life when you have a pet, which was really fun. And then like on the way, like you see like the map and you'll see like these little present boxes. So if you go over it, if you make your dog the path go over it, then you can go and like your dog can pick up a present. And usually it was like a fun item or something. Um,
Hmm.
but there was also sometimes trash. So, and you'd have to like yank your dog to be like, "Don't eat trash! Don't eat trash!"
Or it would poop and you'd forget to pick it up, and then you get scolded later.
I would never pick up the poop. I was a bad person. And then
Well, no,
like
you didn't know
another.
how to pick it up, so you just walk by and I'd be like, "Alex, you gotta touch the poop."
No, I eventually figured out how to, but I just said, yeah, fuck it, and just like let my dog shit. I promise, if I had a dog, I would not let that happen. But
she's got a
like
cat that uses.
10-year-old me was a little asshole, I guess you could say.
No, you're just used to having a cat, and they go in a
Oh,
box.
my favorite part too is every time your dog either pooped or peed, it would show up on the map too. I don't know why they decided to mark that as a thing. Maybe it was to shame you and be like, your dog pissed.
You'd occasionally run into another dog too, and sometimes it would be a friendly encounter, other times it would be a not so friendly encounter.
Yeah, remember the music? It would always be like, dude, like, well, they'd always go and they'd sniff each other's butts, and then it would suddenly either go la la la. It would be like this little like baby time music, or it would turn into and it always like scared me because I'd have to be like, no, Jeffrey, no, don't don't go fighting, don't go fighting.
Yeah. That was, especially when it was a freaking German Shepherd and a Chihuahua. It was always like, yeah, this is great.
One thing that was fun too, like it was always really cute too when you did pick up a present, because the animation of your dog grabbing it and carrying it to you was just so freaking adorable. Oh, but other things you could do too on your walks, which was pretty fun, is that you could also like pop into stores. So if you made your route go into one of the stores, you could go and buy stuff at the store. So by going on the walks, that also was kind of your key to going and buying items. Where you could obviously buy pet food, important. But also they'd have toys and accessories because you could dress up your pet and tons of cute hats and stuff. And another thing too was the dog park. You could bring your dog to the dog park via the map, but via taking them a walk too, which was fun. Um,
That's also where you'd go and like meet other. You could meet other people's dogs. Like you could
yeah.
do Nintendo's the another fun feature of the DS was the wireless like ad hoc like where you could
Mm.
wirelessly meet other players, and then that's how you'd
My one of my favorite pastimes was playing frisbee with my dog, and my dog completely ignoring me and playing with someone else's dog.
yeah, that was pretty good.
That all like happened 99% of the time, but still so fun. This game has so much charm. And literally like you would like I would play this for hours and hours and hours and hours. I'm not kidding. Like, oh, it
Do you
was
remember
so
doing
cool.
the freaking like pet show fucking mini game?
Yeah. So I got pretty good at the frisbee one. I won a couple trophies. The athletic course one, I don't know. I could never figure that one out. No matter what, I always lost at those. And then I forget, wasn't there another one? I'm trying to remember. What was the other contest? Oh, it was the obedience trial. Yeah, never did that one. I did the
Yeah.
disc one quite a bit, but the obedience one, I never trained my pets. I also always picked like the Chihuahua, which, as I think most people know, like Chihuahuas, like they don't listen to you; they just Chihuahua. So why I decided to choose one of the least obedient dog breeds, I don't know.
See, I like the irony that like you really liked Chihuahuas back in the day, but then like nowadays, if you see one, you're just like those things are fucking annoying.
Well, no, I still like them. I mean, they're like I like them for their cuteness, but I also like just know I'm a cat person. You know, I'd love a dog at some point, but I'd need to have like a house that's big enough for a dog. Like I would feel
And you
bad.
already stated you're not moving because of that mattress. So
No, yeah, I'm never moving because of my Tempur-Pedic mattress. There's no way I'm ever getting it downstairs. So yeah. Also, like I got Tilly, and she's a handful as it is. So
she basically is a dog. So
she sometimes, yeah, she acts like one, for sure. Um,
you know what else I loved about this game?
what?
The items that you could
Ugh.
get.
I'm
What was
sorry. I
that?
looked a picture of the pug's character model, and they are hideous.
Well,
Yeah, I
to be
think you were
fair,
named after a pug, Bill. I'm sorry.
though, this game came out in '05, and that was probably at the height of like pugs being massacred as a breed. So
Yeah, yeah,
I
poor
mean, they're
pugs.
thankfully in the process of trying to reverse a lot of the fucking problems that they have now, but
Oh yeah, pugs in like a lot of different dog breeds too, with those
French
smushed
bulldogs, I
faces.
think, are another one.
Yep.
Or is it some one of the flat faced dogs, basically, that can't breathe?
Yes.
Yeah.
But anyways, Bill, did you ever buy your dog a clown wig?
I had like everything. Like
Because I sure did. One of my favorites ones was the Viking hat. I
I
love to
had
make
this
all of them
yeah.
Vikings.
I had this fun fascination of always putting the Chihuahuas in like the Mario and Luigi caps because I just thought it was funny.
Aw, that's so cute though.
Because
And
you could get Mario and Luigi hats, by the
yeah,
way. Which
there was a lot of Mario spoilers, like because you could get the Mario RC cars too.
oh yeah, and you could drive them like playing Mario Kart DS, and you could run them into
Yeah.
the dogs, which was you could be a terrorist basically.
Oh my god, yeah, the dogs hated the RC cars.
The best part
But
too was so there was a Mario, there was a Bowser, and there was a Peach cart, and each one of the carts had different music that would play, and it was always super fun.
mm,
You could also just whap the dogs with freaking items, and I was always like, why did they allow this to be programmed that way?
yeah, I don't know. Like, I mean, sometimes you did it by accident, like when you threw an item and it just accidentally hit the dog, and you were like,
I remember throwing the frisbee once and it arced and nailed the dog in the face. I was like, oh no.
You always felt so guilty whenever that happened.
Because it's a game though, they'd always just kind of brush it off and be like, like,
Yeah.
I'm all right.
One of my favorite items was like the bubbles, cause you use the microphone to blow bubbles, and then like the dogs just they love the bubbles. You also
was
could
always
blow up
fun.
balloons too, and like scare the crap out of them.
Oh yeah, you blow the balloons up and then pop them, and,
And
they
then
just
it'd
like
pop,
freak.
and they would be like, "Ah!" and you'd be like, "I'm sorry." Not
Or like the
sorry.
super bouncy ball, and it would just fling all over the place. It's
Oh,
amazing. It's amusing how entertaining this such a simple game kind of was.
oh yeah. I remember too. Like there were so many like weird things in this game that were so fun. Like another thing that you could buy and collect was like the records. And you could have like a record player. Um
Oh yeah, and I think some of the songs were like war marches, and I was like, "What is this?"
Yeah, well there were some that were like, like classical music, but then some like one of my favorite ones was the nap time record because then like all your puppies would go and take a nap and it was so cute.
Oh, I like the one that was like that
Yeah,
one.
that one. But there was also like
They were all
Mario's
basically public
theme.
domain musical
Oh
themes, but
yeah, and there was a keyboard too.
I love the items that were just duds. Like the dogs didn't give a shit. Like the one of my favorites was like the Mario, like the item block.
Mm.
You could throw that out, and they would literally just hit the floor, and they just look at it and just be like, "Fuck
And
that
be like,
shit."
why? Why did you do this?
Oh, you also had to bathe the dogs.
Yeah, you got to give them a little bath. You got to give them a little bath. It was so cute.
It was basically just like if you didn't bathe them, they'd get like flies flying around them, and you'd
Well,
feel
more
bad.
like fleas. Yeah, they'd give you they'd get fleas, which is pretty like but
And
oh
if you
yeah.
ignored it, they'd fail at like the mini games and stuff because they were gross.
Yeah. There was so
Oh, do you
so
remember the
many.
different? You could buy different apartments.
Yeah, you could buy like different places to live and
So like the
stuff.
first three were just slightly different houses. Like they just kind of get slightly bigger. Then there was my personal favorites were the final three, which were super outlandish. Like there was literally one that was just a desktop, like the top of a table. So these were tiny,
Yeah.
microscopic dogs.
I like there was like the seaside one.
Oh, the beach house.
I
Yeah, that
like the
one was
beach
really
house.
nice.
That one was really nice. It was one of the more expensive ones.
And then there was space.
Yes, there was space. The space fun was space. Anyways, yeah, I always got the seaside one, and then I also a lot of times got the tatami room. I don't know if that says a lot about me or not, but it probably does. I am a weeb.
Yeah. Now there was I remember too, like there was like a bit for like. So what's funny about Nintendogs was it was kind of like a flash in the pan, like it popped, it came in, it was massively popular,
Oh
and then it
yeah.
just kind of fell off and like disappeared.
Yeah. It very
Um,
much was like so big and then just like gone.
like it was funny though because there was like for
But
that like
never forgotten.
that 1 year where it was huge. I remember there was like a black market of people like trading like the rare items, like all the Mario items were super rare.
Oh yeah.
Like there was a bunch of like super rare ones, and people would be trading them like between each other for like lunch money. It was the dumbest shit. Like fucking. And
Oh yeah.
the funniest part was if you had an action replay, you could just fucking cheat the system to
Yeah.
get all this shit for free, and then you would trade it to people for action. I was like, what the fuck is like? This is like life.
This is something.
You know what was funny about Nintendogs though?
What?
It showed up like 05 we had the 3 versions and then Best Friends, and then 2006 they did the Dalmatians version.
Yep.
And then it just straight up nothing for the rest of the DS's lifespan.
Yeah.
And then come the 3DS and they decide, oh, 3DS is out at launch, let's do Nintendogs again because surely it'll work again.
And add cats.
Barely.
Barely. Nintendogs plus cats. And I think just disclaimer, Bill and I did not play these games growing up. We stopped
'cause
at the first one and we were done.
Well, because by the time they came out, it was like I saw them. I'm like, this is just the same thing, but less
The same
interesting.
thing, but slightly better graphics, I guess you could say.
And also, the cats were basically just glorified items.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
That
it
is
wasn't
pretty.
like you'd get cats and then have them be your like. You could just have cats like in No Dogs. It was literally like the dogs were still the main thing, and the cats were like these glorified extras.
Yeah. And
It
the funny
was
part is it like looking at screenshots, it looks like they didn't really change anything either.
yeah,
Like
and
for
I
the
think
most part, it just looks the same. Like you could take them on walks, you could do competitions and change your apartment, but yeah, it doesn't really look like there was that much stuff that was changed.
yeah, it was honestly just a thing where like Nintendo was kind of like, ooh, let's try and see if we can strike magic twice, and then it didn't strike, and they were kind of like, oh,
Womp, womp, womp.
and then they just gave up on it quietly because they only did 3 versions of Nintendogs plus cats, and that was it.
Yeah,
Honestly, I gotta hunt one of those down just to experience it because I'm curious now.
yeah. It
I'm
looks
amazed
like
they
the competitions were even it was like disc and then it's lure coursing, which I don't know, and then obedience trial. So minus that the agility is now lure coursing. It
yeah,
really looks the same. It looks like there's a cafe. You could go to a cafe and get some tea and coffee
yeah,
for you to virtually drink. But it is a cute little setup. I mean, the graphics do look a lot better. Oh, and you can have your creepy Mii's in it. Wonderful. That
lovely.
really
Oh yeah,
takes the
you gotta
reality out of the looking like
you gotta
pets.
remember too that the original Nintendogs was in a pre-me time.
Yes. Yeah, that is yeah. So this was post me, and they threw them in there in the cafe, and they just—I'm sorry, they look so uncanny
Yeah,
with like
they
the
really do.
realistic dogs, and then like the random me's, and like the realistic outside and stuff. Like it just looks stupid. That was a dumb choice. I don't know why they did that. I mean, I wish they just put like a dog in a suit. I would have liked that more.
Yeah,
Like a fursuit.
honestly.
I wanted furries in the game. Just kidding. I don't like furries. We talked about that. They scare me. They frighten me. Help. Help.
Yeah.
Help.
So what's funny too, though, about Nintendogs is like it started a bit of a phenomenon in gaming to the point where there were so many quote unquote imitations,
Spin-offs.
clones, and rip-offs.
A big one was Pets
Yeah,
with a Z.
Pets honestly probably was like the most successful of all of those, and it went on significantly longer than
I did have a
Nintendogs did.
Pets one. I had Cats 2 on the DS, and I was trying to find screenshots from the game, and I literally couldn't find a single one. Like there's photos, but it keeps popping up with the Wii version. And
Yeah,
I literally can't find a single image from the DS game. So I literally couldn't tell you. I can't remember a single thing from the game. Like I was trying to remember. Oh, never mind. I do remember something. There was like this weird cat piano game. I need to look that up. Hold on. This is very serious, Bill. No laughing. Cat piano or cat singing game. I think it was cat singing game. Oh, but I did by googling that I did find a picture of a cat sitting on a piano. How cute. Cat singing game. I need Bill, this is very serious. Don't giggle. Oh my god, I can't find no one else. There's not a single image of this. Like
Alex, do you want to know the greatest thing?
no. Fine.
The Pets games were developed by a company called PF Magic. Do you
PF
know what else?
Chang's?
No. Do you know what else PF Magic made?
Oh god, I'm scared.
Your favorite fighting game of all time.
Balls?
Yeah.
Hell yeah! No wonder that game was a banger. I can't remember a thing of it, but I remember playing it. Oh shit. I wasn't gonna do the stupid ass voice. God fucking damn it. I
Yeah, but
can't
it's funny.
resist.
There was a
Hell,
shit ton. I think the Pets series actually went on longer
oh yeah.
than
Well, Pets
most.
also branched out from DS and was also on the Wii and other multiple other consoles.
The sad part is though, I have like these games went on for so much longer,
Mhm.
but I legit don't remember anything about them because I don't think they were particularly remarkable.
Yeah, I mean the truth is Nintendogs was so charming, and just none of them were ever able to hit that charming level of Nintendogs.
Yeah, honestly, Nintendogs was legit one of those things that I feel like was a one time thing because I just unfortunately nowadays like I just don't think that kind of game will really
No,
take off the same way because it's just so as interesting as Nintendogs is, I just don't think it's there's enough to it anymore to really hold an audience, especially if they tried bringing it to the Switch.
I thought I saw something about that.
That's been rumored for a while,
It's
but we
been yeah,
still
it's definitely been rumored, and I mean, would I get it? Possibly.
maybe if they make the cats actually worthwhile.
Nintendo. Oh no, sorry. The tired is hitting me.
Clearly, but yeah, was there any
Pets,
other? Was there
don't
any
be
other like
rude.
clones of like Nintendogs? Because I only ever really remembered Pets.
None that I can really remember. None that were. Oh, there was the dog. That wasn't really that though. I just remember the Dog Island. It was a Wii game and it was weird. Yeah,
That just
really.
sounds bad.
You don't remember the dog? Those weird. Google the dog. They were like those weird. Like they had posters and like books, and they were at every like school fair. They had like those
Searching the
stickers.
dog does not lead to anything.
The dog. The dog. All right, type in the Dog Island.
Oh, that.
Try that.
Yeah, that popped right up. That's a video game.
Yeah, but do you remember this franchise with like the dogs that have the really big heads and like small bodies?
Yeah,
They
this
were
looks garbage.
my favorite. My favorite thing about this game is that the Game Grumps did a playthrough of it, and it's as wonderful as it looks.
Wonderful.
If you need a good laugh, you should watch it. It's one of my favorite Game Grumps videos.
Yeah.
But yeah, the dog. I mean, like, not really Nintendogs, but I just remember the dog because they would, like, they had, like, folders and, like, school supplies, and, oh, it was every 10-year-old's dream.
Do you remember the mystery dogs in like the Nintendogs games that you had to unlock by finding special items?
I remember that.
Because there was the Dalmatian in all the games you could unlock by getting the fireman helmet.
Yeah, and I freaking unlocked it.
Yeah, and then you
I
got the
was
Dalmatians and Friends like version, and you were like, oh,
well, I already got it at that point, so
yeah. There was that. There was also the Jack Russell you could get. I forget what you had to find to unlock the Jack Russell Terriers.
yeah, I remember it was. I can't remember. I can't remember half of them. I just remember Nintendogs was a great time. And I also remember giving them a lot of jerky. Like I would buy the
Yeah.
jerky. I don't know why, but I would buy like all the jerky. And then give it to them, and I would just constantly feed them. I don't know what I was doing. I wouldn't be I would just remember the jerky. The jerky.
I remember I had a beagle.
Get a beagle.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I definitely had a chihuahua for sure. I think I had two chihuahuas.
You had two chihuahuas. You definitely had a pug.
I had two
Um,
chihuahuas. I had a pug. I had a German shepherd. I had
oh, I had a
I
lab
think I had a
too.
lab too. And I think I may I definitely think I had a trying to think. I think I had the sheepdog too.
Yeah. Oh, there was also Poodles. I forgot about the Poodles.
Oh yeah, I definitely had the poodles in one too.
Yeah. That was funny. I forgot because you had like 3 different versions, and I remember the Chihuahua one you were super far ahead on, and then the
Yes.
other 2 you were like you just couldn't be bothered.
Hey, I had a lot of games, Bill.
See, I wish like the DS had the original DS had the same like timekeeping like system that like the 3DS has, so we could actually see how many hours you put into that fucking game.
Mm.
Because I bet it would be fucking interesting.
Oh my god, yeah, I'm sure that it would have a ton.
Yeah.
Like
But
a
yeah, other
ton,
than
a
that,
ton.
there's not a whole lot to say about Nintendogs other
I
than
mean, except that it was a wonderful part of our childhood.
it was a great
Oh, I had a
experience.
boxer too. I definitely
Right.
had a boxer. He was one of my favorites. I love my little boxer.
I
Oh.
think the problem with Nintendogs though that I think now is like it's such a hard series to recommend because it's such a product of its time. Like you had to have been there.
Oh yeah. No, I mean, I feel like if you played it, definitely go back for the nostalgia. But if you never played it, don't do it because you're just not gonna get it.
Yeah, I think
Like
that's
you're
the big
really just
problem because it's
not.
like
Like
there's just so little to it's just such a it's one of those games where you kind of see it and you're just kind of like I don't get what the appeal was and you're like you had to have been there.
no, it definitely was a had to be there kind of game. But
Yeah.
honestly, so fun. Such a good time. Ugh. I kind of want to play Nintendogs after this too.
Well, you can dig out one of your 5 copies and play.
Sorry. Sorry, I'm dying.
But
I'm
yeah,
dying.
so anyways, guys, once again, thanks for joining
Wait,
us on the
Bill, do you want to hear something terrible?
I don't know, do I?
2024 is in 4 months.
Okay.
Isn't that terrible?
Yeah.
Actually, is it 4? September, October, November, December. Ah!
I'm more just getting over the fact that I own a house now, so
You're a homeowner. I'm a 1-year homeowner. I'm a wiener.
yep. You have 2
Also,
bedrooms now.
why does Twitter have to be X? Why couldn't it just stayed Twitter? I don't know if we talked about this, but I'm upset.
I just don't give a shit anymore.
I'm
Twitter
upset.
dies every week, and
I want
everyone.
my bird back. I want my bird.
But anyways, guys, once again, thank you for joining us on the
Thank you
Gaming
for
and Collecting
joining us
Podcast.
on
The
Gaming
Gaming
and
and Collecting
Collecting
Podcast can be found
Podcast.
on all your major
It's
podcasting
found on all your
platforms,
major
particularly.
podcasting platforms,
I'm just gonna mute you.
specifically Spotify and Anchor. Oh.
But yeah, if you want to follow us, you can find us all the links on linktree.com/thebarbecue games, and you can join us on the GNC podcast fan server, where you see a whole bunch of curse shit and Kermit the Frog a lot.
I've been posting feet pics recently.
Yeah, and okay, Dan Schneider. Anyways.
No!
But with that, I will see you all next time.
Get out! I'm not Dan Schneider.
Yeah, we know you're Macho Man Randy Savage.
Go fucking down!